What is up, you guys? It is your boy Remo Sensei here to do my review of the Marvel Spider-Man game. I recently just bought it on Thursday, as you know, when it dropped, and I have tirelessly played the game from Thursday evening till today around midday, kind of sort of late evening. Okay, and I essentially platinumed the game, so this is sort of my overhead review of the game in total. So let's start off with my cons. I kind of want to talk about the negatives before I talk about the plus, because to be honest, it's going to sound like I'm completely dick riding this game, because to be honest, I don't even have that many cons for the game. So first I want to talk about is the stealth missions that you do as different characters, and even sometimes the missions of gaining information that you do as Peter. They are kind of super boring. First off, well, I wouldn't even say that they're super boring, but it's just not something that I personally am interested in. I don't really like stealth missions, and if I do like stealth missions, it might be kind of sort of like just taking out the enemy, not necessarily crouching behind this, crouching behind there. Ooh, excuse me. Doing this, getting this piece of information, and making it in, and making it out, and just that kind of thing. Honestly, they weren't that bad, but it was just the fact that there was way too many of them. This is kind of the in the middle con, I would say, that I have with the game, and that is the length of it. Because to me, the length is really almost perfect, but it's almost too short too. But then again, the reason why this is at the middle is because the storytelling was so good, it was so in-depth, it intertwined, there was foreshadowing, there was just revelations, and just so many different elements that they implemented into the story, which made it so good that if they had added too many more things, or just did too much of this, or just maybe even put too much of this in here in the game, I would say that the game would just be entirely too long. So that's an in the middle con. One complete con that I have with the game is some of the glitches that I ran into over the weekend, and as you can see, as they'll be playing on the screen above, I didn't catch all of them either, just because I didn't want to save them all. I didn't really I was too busy into playing the game to think about my review of it. But at one point, I was just like stuck in a building for like 30 seconds. And I think I might actually have that clip. There was one time where an enemy that I had, several times actually, where there was an enemy that I had to like defeat, and they were inside the wall, and there was almost like no way to even like attack them. Then what else? There's one point where it's just like I'm floating up and down continuously, and like so it's just like the glitch and stuff in the game. And honestly, that could just be because it is the first week's release. That's something that could obviously get patched and things like that, but it was just like that. Oh, and then the crashes of the game crashed on me, I think all of 4 to 5 times over the weekend, which is I'm not really, I guess, accustomed to that, even with new games and playing them. So that was very, very annoying, and I don't know why it was. It was just kind of like I had a problem with it, and I think another friend of mine had a problem with it, but then another friend of ours didn't crash at all. So I don't know what that's about. So that's a con. So that's pretty much it, I guess, for my cons that I can think of presently at the moment. Now it's time for the pros. Now with the pros, like I said again, it's going to sound like I am utterly just jock riding this game to the end of the fucking earth. But like I said in the beginning of the video, this is probably the best Spider-Man that I have ever played. It is definitely up there. I can't think of one better, like outside of it just being it purely nostalgia. So first off, the storytelling in this, the characterization in this is just completely and utterly beautiful, and it is a masterpiece. The story, just the way that it intertwines, and it just gives you just all of the background info, just things, just sort of just what happens, and it's not just a flashback and you can play it, even though some of it is boring, but just the entire like story that it just tells and it paints, and how everything intertwines and it interlocks, and it just setups for just like the final stage of this whole entire game. It's just simply and utterly beautiful and amazing. Also, the characterizations, just why the villains are who they are, what reasons they are doing things for was just kind of even almost makes you feel sympathetic for them at some point, or just not even, I guess not even sympathetic, but just you can just relate to them, the real world things that's happening to Peter, that makes him even more so relatable. I think that's why a lot of people love Spider-Man, is because he's essentially, at the end of the day, he's a common person at the end of the day, you know what I mean? He's just like, he's regular smegular, like Batman, super rich, Superman, he's the fucking perfect being that's ever graced the earth. Like, it's just like there's just things that you can't relate to, like Tony Stark, like the Hulk, or just like there's just something about him that makes him more relatable, and just them showcasing that even further was absolutely beautiful in the game. The suits made the game for me. My 3 favorite suits are being put up on the screen right now. Like the dynamic between Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and how you can kind of separate them and how they're intertwined at the end of the day, was just simply beautiful. And like, bro, like and I mean, that ties into the storytelling, but then again, it's just like, bro, the characterization, like that, bro, that this game gives you, and with the short amount of time, that's why I say that, like, that's why I can't be too upset with the time of it, is because the story was so perfect, it was so impactful. I even shed a couple thug tears at the end, you feel me, just a few slight ones or whatever. So like, the game is just like, it's beautiful, and it reminds you of the things about certain villains and things that you might not remember from like a kid, like, you know what I mean, like actual like comic book like stuff. Like, it's the game is just a masterpiece storytelling wise. The web slinging is out of this world. It is phenomenal. The different things you can do, the pulling yourself through water tanks, like the underneath of it, like the whatever's holding it, is just like, bro, like going in between like the fire escapes, parkouring through the fire escapes. There's so much, like the swinging on the trees, the zip line, like the web slinging is the best web slinging that has ever been in a Spider-Man game. Like, this game is really beautiful. It looks good on the eyes. The suits are fucking amazing. The characterization is amazing. The storytelling is amazing. The challenges is fun. At least they were fun to me. The side missions was fun to me. Just like everything. Just like flying through the city, and just all the crime that's just happening in the city. Like, it was fun. Like, getting the platinum didn't even seem like a chore, even when I was just kind of like stuck on like one part. Well, not really stuck on, but it didn't even really go into the platinum, and it's just like I did it just for fun. Like the secret photo ops is just like, there's so much in the game, and it's just so enjoyable. It's an easy platinum, and the game is just simply, it's just beautiful on all ends. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. So yeah, that's my review for Marvel Spider-Man. If you don't have a PlayStation and you have a friend that has one, like, persuade them to buy it, just so you can go over there and play it on weekends or nights or just whatever the fuck. This game is simply a masterpiece through and through, and I thoroughly enjoyed this. And yeah, so that's it for this review. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you have more cons? Do you have more things that you love about this game? Just whatever. Just tell me what you think in the comment section below. Leave a like and all that shit. Subscribe. And yeah, with that being said, y'all stay beautiful and blessed. Thank you.
My phone gon' ring with some bad things, tryna make a sting. Okay, I got ice on me, it sound like bling, bling. Okay.